Kong Skull Island is the second film in the new MonsterVerse franchise, and is directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts. Imagine a guy with Vogt in their name who likes King Kong? Pfft, who knew? During the 70s, a group of scientists and soldiers travel to an island that has yet to be officially discovered. That island is the infamous Skull Island, and it's home to many monsters such as giant spiders, squids, lizards, and an ape named Kong. The group is stranded there, and some of them want to get off the island, and some of the military want nothing more than to kill Kong. Who will live and who will die? Do you really care? Something one should know about me is that I love King Kong. The 1933 film is my favorite film of all time, and is what made me fall in love with films. King Kong films are usually all over the place for me. They can be really good, really bad, or really mediocre. And while I fully admit I was highly skeptical going into this movie, I'll say that the film is fun. If I have to pick which recent Kong film I like more, I'd still go with the Peter Jackson version, but I very much appreciate that this film went with a completely different take. The director is very much inspired by films like Apocalypse Now and Platoon. It has that Vietnam War vibe to it with the color schemes, the action, and of course being set in the 70s. Sometimes the constant use of 70s music can be just a tad bit repetitive, with them basically wanting to be like Guardians of the Galaxy and or Suicide Squad, but it works for the most part, and it's not a bad soundtrack at all. The effects work is handled fairly well. Sometimes the creatures look like they are there, like this one scene where a giant buffalo comes out of the water, or some close-up shots on eyes of certain creatures, but there are instances where the actors have to interact with the creatures and get up real close to them, where it looks like the actors are standing in front of a green screen. Speaking of the creatures, they are all very imaginative. The skullcrawlers look cool, as do the giant buffaloes and spiders, and Kong has a design that looks pretty similar to his look in the original film. He's motion capture in this film and is portrayed by Terry Notary. While he does fine, there's not that same level of personality in the character as when Andy Serkis played him in the Peter Jackson film. Still, it's not bad, and Notary portrays him more as a benevolent protector. For those wondering, yes, there is more of Kong in this film than there was of Godzilla in the 2014 Godzilla film. The studio behind this film listened to the criticisms people had, and Kong has a decent amount of screen time. I would have maybe liked to have seen him a little bit more, but that might be me being greedy. As to what I didn't like, sadly it's the characters. Actually, what characters? These people purely exist to die and move to the next set pieces. I will say in all seriousness, there are two that I liked. I enjoyed John C. Reilly in this film as this man who's been stranded on the island since the 40s. I was worried he would be too goofy for the film, but he used a good balance of comedy and seriousness, and there was some tragedy to him. Truth be told, I did care if he was going to survive. I also like Samuel L. Jackson. He plays a colonel who feels defeated with the outcome of the Vietnam War, and thinks he now has a sense of purpose when he encounters Kong. It's very similar to Captain Ahab in Moby Dick, or Quint in Jaws. Other than that, no one else is interesting. Not Brie Larson, not John Goodman, and definitely not Tom Hiddleston, who I'm baffled as to why he's the lead since he doesn't seem to do anything in the film. There's two moments when they try to give him a character, but aside from that, he blends into the background with the wilderness of the island. It really does seem like I'm complaining a lot about this film, and yes, I do have issues with it that I think are very valid, but despite all these criticisms, I did have fun. There are funny moments with characters in the film, even though I never cared what became of them, and there is a lot of cool action. It's a great giant monster film which is very much in the spirit of B-movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you're looking for some dumb entertainment, you'll get your fix. Maybe go for a matinee though. The King is back, and you'll definitely want to see him on the big screen. Go check it out. Thanks, this is an O.M.M review. This is O.M.M, signing out.